The Premier League may be off, but the UEFA Nations League is back and more confusing than ever. The USA still seems to suck. And why does everybody hate Jadon Sancho? Find all that and more on this week's episode of Fullest Piece. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Pete, how are we doing today?
Just a nice little break to get out of the Premier League a little bit, you know, a little international delight this weekend from all over the globe, from UEFA to CONCACAF, all that and more.
There's something insane about the UEFA Nations League. Like, I understand that, like, it does help you with World Cup qualification, but I'm pretty sure learning trigonometry is easier than understanding what actually is at stake for this tournament. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is like some crazy quantitative like analysis of trying to figure out how does one like qualify. I without getting into the nuts and bolts, I actually think it is better than what we had before. I think it's better than just having some useless friendlies that were just like there's nothing at stake. I think the fact that there is at least something at stake here, that it does tie to some qualifying, actually is worth it. But trying to explain it to somebody that's not a soccer person, good luck. You're going to lose them within the first 5 words.
Even trying to explain it to someone who is a soccer person, I still feel like smoke starts coming out of my ears. It really is crazy. Like, when you can't find an article that can actually break down what it is, I'm fully convinced every journalist out there trying to write it out actually doesn't know what they're talking about.
All I know is this, is basically, if you do well in Nations League, get you maybe a better spot at being in a qualifying group. All I know is now that we're onto like the main phase of World Cup qualifying for UEFA, there's 12 groups of either 4 or 5 teams, and they'll play each other twice, and then obviously the winner is automatic, and then all the teams that were second place are going to go into like a playoff round against each other, and that will determine the remaining number of teams. I think Europe gets 16 teams in the expanded field, so we'll see how it goes. But big winners of the weekend: Belgium, Serbia, Turkey, and
Elas, Greece, baby. They let the kids play. We started off pretty weak. I'm gonna be real. We went down 1-0 in the first leg against Scotland.
It was a penalty that they scored.
It was a penalty, but we still lost 1-0. So I was down in the dumps. I wasn't feeling good. And then we bring in the children. We let the kids go out and play. 17-year-old Konstantinos Garetsas.
Yeah,
17-year-old right winger comes in and becomes the youngest player to score in a European competition
For Greece, yeah.
For Greece, is it in general? I think he beat out Lamine Yamal. That was the big deal with it.
Oh wow! Well, apparently he's been lighting up if you're a big fan of the Belgium league, he plays for Genk. Apparently if you've watched any of those games, you kind of know how good he is. So maybe one to keep an eye on in the future. Maybe to see if some big teams come after him. Constantelia scored in the 20th minute, and Solis scored in the 46th minute, I think right at the beginning of the half.
Yep.
I watched like the first half of this game. I mean, they were dominating. Like, not dominating, but like they were clearly the more dangerous team going forward. Like, Scotland had no shot, like no chance. And I mean, they had 13 total shots. Sorry. Scotland, they had 11 total shots, only 1 big chance in expected goals of 0.98, which I guess is good for expected goals, but clearly not good enough. But this is awesome. We get promoted into Group A of Nations League, which is cool.
Very huge.
Yeah, hopefully maybe that helps us get into better promotional groups for future international tournaments. So looking forward to that. Play the youth, man. Keep playing the youth. And like, can these big Greek teams like actually develop some of these Greek players, some of these homegrown Greek players? A lot of these players are actually not even playing in Greece.
I mean, the oldest player on our team was our left back, Giannoulis, and he's 29. Then it's Mavropanos, who's 27, and then after that, it's like 26 and 23. Like the age, our age range is very young on this, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Pavlidis too up top, 26. I mean, good. I think now our group for World Cup qualifying. It's Belarus, Denmark, and Scotland. I feel good. I actually feel good. I'm curious to see, like, we should beat the crap out of Belarus.
We should feel good. This is the time. I feel like our team's been improving.
I'm expecting second, at the very least.
This is the group you want to be in, I think.
Denmark's just sneaky good. They're always that sneaky good team. They got good players. They're nothing to scoff at. So that's why I'm hesitant because of.
Can't get cocky, but I want first out of this. I don't want these playoffs. I want to just get in.
I don't want these playoffs after what happened with
Georgia.
Freaking Georgia.
Speaking of or not European, but national team disappointment, USA stink.
Yeah, do we stink? I guess we stink. We stink really loud.
Losing to Panama, losing to Canada. This is not good. This is not good.
Not a good weekend for the U.S. men's national team. Not a good weekend for Mauricio Pochettino. Well, so to be fair, I think we played well. I watched the highlights and stuff and saw some clips of like us playing against Panama. I think we played good enough to win that game. I really do. I mean, they had. Let's take a look here.
We had 67% possession and 12 shots. Like 12 dominated
shots,
the game.
12 shots, 5 on target. Like Panama literally had 3 shots, and then their 1 shot on goal was the actual goal. Now it sucks that it happened obviously at the end of the game rather than. And also, there's a viral clip. They stormed Thierry Henry.
It's the best. It's the best celebration. Wait 1 second.
Like that's, I'm just wondering what the hell is going through Titi's mind, like as he's getting bombarded.
They went up. He said NS Media. He's just going. He's like, you're my idol, over and over. It is honestly one of the sickest celebrations ever. I think you have Thierry Henry on the goal side that you guys scored on, and your whole team just rushes them while they're live on the Golazo show. That's sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then then that was in the semifinals, so we're not going to play in the finals for the CONCACAF Nations League. So then we play in the third place game against our friends from up north, Canada. Canada got our number. Beat us in the 4 nations in hockey. Now they're beating us in soccer. Can't get a break. I don't know. What's wrong? What do you feel like is wrong?
I think it's just figuring out like this team and getting them to mesh well, especially like, okay, this is Poch's first tournament per se, like I guess like actual chance to test out this team. I don't have a clue. I mean, it's the USA. It's the US national team, but like the problem is like, I mean, our central midfield of Pulisic, McKinney, and Adams should be doing better.
Yeah.
We have Way on the left.
Yunus Musa too.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of things like the players need to be performing. Are we just not being clinical? I mean, we clearly are dominating these teams. Otherwise, I mean, we were 60% to 40% in possession. But the funny thing is, Canada was ripping shots. They had more shots on target and more shots in general. So, like, are we just not being clinical with our opportunities?
It might be that. I think it's that. I think it's not being as clinical. We're lacking in the striking department, for sure. I think that center forward, like, he doesn't need to be the best player, but you just need somebody that can get the goals when you need them. I think there's a lack of. I don't know if there's a lack of it. I think this group has shown before that they do have some guts and they do have heart. Like, remember that Nations League game from like a couple years ago against Mexico in Denver, where it was like chaotic and they're getting like trash and stuff thrown at them and everything. Yeah. Like, they powered through that and beat them on penalties. I think. I mean, they got through the World Cup, like out of the group stage, and I know that was dicey because they needed to win that last game. I know they didn't do well in the knockout round against the Dutch. But They're playing, and all you want your key players to be playing for some of these big teams in Europe, so you know what you're playing against. I don't know. I think you need Poch to get some more time. I think his style is not as attractive as some people would want it to be. He's a very like grinded out, type of coach, I feel like. I know his Tottenham teams were good and they scored a lot, but I don't know. I think they messed up. I think they messed up when they brought back Greg Berhalter again after they went on that coach search. I really think that kind of messed up this group a little bit.
The bringing him back, especially after like allocations, and there's clearly like things just weren't level in that clubhouse. To bring him back was a crazy play, I think.
It was crazy that they like the whole World Cup happens. Then they have the situation with Giovanni with the Reynas.
Yeah.
And then they went through a search and came back to the conclusion to rehire him again.
The U.S. coaching hiring process is nuts. Like, I feel like since Klinsmann, they have not had a fucking clue what they were doing.
And even then, Klinsmann was controversial too.
Yeah, but I feel like Poch is like the first. Like, you gotta stick it out with him for a little bit. This is your biggest name hire you could possibly get. Like, if he can't figure it out, I don't know who's better you're gonna get. That's the problem. Like, who do you go for after this? Because like, who's gonna touch the U.S.? The fact that he even came to the U.S., we must have paid him a bag. First off, in general, of course,
paid him a bag.
But there's gotta be like something. Like, you gotta let him see this out.
I mean, he's
not going anywhere. He's seeing it through the World Cup, I think, for sure.
This is no, he's not getting fired anytime.
No, it'd be nuts.
It'd be crazy. I think this is like an overarching theme of U.S. soccer. We're 400 days away. I'm not going to say how I feel. I mean, a lot can change in 400 days. Like, I mean, as we get closer, I think we'll have a better feel of what we think about these players in this team and how the style of play relates to the competition. If the U.S. doesn't go deep, and when I say deep, like, for our standards, I think quarterfinals or...
See, you're not saying balls deep, but you want to get like halfway in there.
I think with this group of players, I don't see anyone like right now. Like this group of players, if all of them are on their A game, I think this group of players can get you to the quarterfinals. Have some lucky bounces, but if the U.S. has a bad showing in the World Cup, like doesn't get out of the group stage or gets out of the group stage but loses in the next round,
it's gonna be ugly.
U.S. soccer needs to do a whole reevaluation of the structure.
This is definitely like what I would say like our strongest side in a long time. I'd say since like 2014, it's probably our best outing. I think of like terms of like quality of players, and it's the most players we've had that I think are like pretty much starters on the European sides that they're at, which is huge.
I mean, Tyler Adams, starter, Premier League. Pulisic, starter, key player in Milan. Even McKennie and Weah are starters at Juventus. I mean, Chris Richards is starting, for Crystal Palace too.
Like it's not to compare him to England. Like England is a far better squad, obviously, but it's like I almost feel like it's a similar problem where we have a lot of players that are good, like, and especially at their clubs, but when they come together, we haven't found a way to make them mesh, like to reach that potential together. Like, I say that as England made a final, but like clearly it almost feels like they luck boxed their way in. But
yeah, that Europe final, they definitely did. But I don't know. I would say this, that like I said, my final point, I think 400 days out, if we play like this, we're not going to make it out of the group stage. And then I think U.S. soccer needs to evaluate the whole system.
Yeah.
Get MLS, force MLS to do promotion relegation. Stop this pay-to-play bull crap at the youth level. Like, it's a whole changing of, cleaning out your house.
It's gonna take a lot for that, but God, if they can make it work, it would be huge.
Yeah.
But moving on, getting out of this and going into some, obviously, we've talked about it several times. Everybody hates Jadon Sancho.
Every team
Jadon
Sancho, except Dortmund.
Crazy.
Dortmund loves Jordan loves some
Dortmund seemed to really
Sancho.
like him. It came out today, so we talked about it a bit last week. So Chelsea may not purchase Jadon Sancho, even though they are on a deal for a loan to buy. So we are required to purchase them. Well, turns out, came out, I think today, which will be yesterday when this comes out, that Chelsea will possibly have to pay $5 million to not sign Jadon Sancho, which is crazy. And from an outside perspective, I know how you feel. We've talked about it. We really don't need to get too in depth of like the reasoning why. For a depth player where we clearly need it, it sounds like we're doing a lot of clearing out, and just in general, like we need players like him. I still think $25 million is like a no-brainer steal, but I think it's only if he takes a pay cut. Apparently, I saw he's on like $250K a week, which is a lot. I don't know. That's the only thing I'm unsure about. But I really do think with his performance at Chelsea, unless there's some back office stuff, which it hasn't really come out for, I mean, he goes out there and performs, but we don't have any play. Like I watched just so many clips the other day of him just stalling and holding out players, trying to beat them. But the problem is we don't have any attacking force in the middle. We don't have any assistance. It's him against two defenders in the corner of the box. Like there's nothing he can do. But to chalk it up to the issues he had with Man U, I don't think is the same case, but I almost think the reason they don't want to take him is because of those wages. They'd rather try to give it to someone of a higher prospect, which I can see. That sounds, in my head, that's what I'm feeling, instead of them not wanting him purely for his, like, background problems.
Yeah, like I've said about Jadon Sancho, I personally don't want him back. I thought when United signed him from Dortmund, I was like really excited because he was one of like the most exciting young players across Europe, and to kind of get him, it was like awesome. And clearly he's a player that he just, I don't know, he gets in his own head. He creates like the problems for himself, I feel like. I also don't think he's that good of a professional, in my opinion. I mean, looking at his stats, he's played, he's played in the Premier League. He's started 16 games, played in 23. He's given you 2 goals and 4 assists. Decent, okay returns. I think it's all right. Like
decent stats from a team where no one's fucking scoring in the last 6 months. Like since December, our goal scoring has plummeted.
Yeah, he's like, he needs to play in the 10. I think him in a 10 type of position is probably his best type of role, because he's not athletic enough. He's not athletic enough to play as a winger in the Prem. It's too much. You have to have pace, and you got to have energy, and you got to press and everything. He's like a techers, skillful kind of guy. He wants to dribble the ball and like dribble past you. He's not going to blow past you by pace, which is fine. That's a type of style of play that can last, but I don't know. You also have to like. This is, a lot of coaches now are very systematic, and I feel like Enzo Maresca, because he's from the school of Pep, he's very like, you got to do X, Y, and Z, and I feel like that's going to be something that does not vibe with Jadon Sancho. So the question is, would you pay $5 million not to have him, Manoli, or would you just say just pay the $25 million?
I think it all depends. My answer stands at, if we don't sign the players that we're trying to, and we don't clear house, yeah, I'd probably keep them for 25. If we do have a system in place of like, we're trying to clear out some dead weight, we're trying to clear our wages, and we want to do a little bit of a like go for more experienced players, which it sounds like they are. They're saying that their priority this summer is switching out some wingers, especially with our problems with Michalo Mudryk and his apparent drug issues. Whether he knew it or not. It's PEDs, if they're saying.
Yes.
And it's PED. Yeah, he's on a suspension right now.
That's right.
And also,
I forgot about that. Jeez, that happened so long ago.
And the other problem is they're apparently going gung-ho for striker this year. So if that's the plan, and they want to bring in some fresh talent, you know what? If they want to give those wages to someone else, fair play. Because 250 is a lot. So unless he's willing to take a substantial pay cut, I don't see us why we would keep him. But if we end up with the same stock of players minus Sancho, I'll be scratching my head a bit.
Does there need to be is there a deadline that they have to make that decision?
I'm guessing transfer window is when. I can't really see any other.
But because it's at the end of the season with an obligation to buy, does that have to happen within once the transfer window opens?
Probably that. That's my guess, because it's probably once the window opens, you make the signing. I don't see how else that would go.
Please take them. Just please take them. I would love to have the 25 million. Please take them.
Listen, let's see what happens. I'm very curious. I'm very curious how we finish the season and whether we have Jadon Sancho or not. I'm going to be honest with you. As of right now, that's kind of the least of my worries.
Yeah. Well, moving on. But no, you know what else it is? It's WrestleMania season.
Oh, is it?
It's WrestleMania season.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say that? Because, it is. John Cena turned heel, if you didn't know.
If you're off the internet, if you're completely off the internet.
It's also happened 3 weeks ago, so where the hell have you been? But I offer a proposition to the WWE. I think they should add on the pre-show not a no DQ match between Arda Güler and Dominik Szoboszlai. This was just something I saw over the weekend because of the Nations League. They were chirping at each other over their two legs between Hungary and Turkey. Basically, Turkey gave Hungary the business, beat them 6-1, and they were chirping at each other on the pitch the whole time. So our boy Dominik Szoboszlai, he commented on social media just 1088, which was the number of minutes that has been that Arda Güler has played at Real Madrid this season. Since Arda Güler was unimpressed with that subtle jibe, he basically replied and said, "This guy is a joke. Isn't 6 goals enough to shut you up?" So my question is, whose side are you on here? What's your take?
My side, Gear, right? I feel like when you're down 6-0, there's not much else you can really trash talk. 6-0, if you lose 2-0, even 3-0, 6-0 is bad, man. 6-0 is bad.
I get it.
That is, and this isn't don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Turkey, but it's not like you're going up against Spain, like a heavy hitting team. 6-0 against Turkey is bad.
Yeah, Turkey actually had a good showing at the Euros the last summer, so they're one of those teams that are always they're talented but never actually come together when the time comes. I'm not gonna lie here. I'm gonna be on Szoboszlai's side here.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, look, 6-1, not a good look. Also, Arda Güler, you sit on the bench at Real Madrid, and he's playing Champions League football. Well, he was playing Champions League football but he starts every week at Liverpool. Yeah. And you no, I know you're at Real Madrid, but if some defender can get on the field that's young and put David Alaba and who else? Militao, keep him on the bench. I know those guys are injured, but I don't know what the hell are you doing? Can't get any game time in the Copa del Rey or whatever. So that's my thing. He's also looks like a whiny kid too, so I'm not gonna lie. I know he's super talented. He's really good. I know he's really good, but I
see him pulling an Odegaard and going to a random Premier League team and becoming an absolute god there.
Odegaard's a god.
He's pretty fucking good.
He's good. He's
pretty fucking good.
He's good.
Okay, maybe not a god, but you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah,
let's not fucking split hairs here.
I'm
okay,
I'm just fucking with you.
Listen, motherfucker.
All right. Well, that was that little fun little banter on there. I always love it when like two guys go at it for like no, like literally nothing. It's literally just bullcrap BS. But
Now, if they threw hands, I think I would have been a little more impressed with the whole situation.
yeah, I would like that. And lastly, kind of some news that was building up. I felt like I kept seeing some posts about it. THIAGO MOTTA out, sacked, axed,
Pour one out.
fired, whatever you want, by the old lady Juventus.
I mean, not even making it a whole season is always a tough look.
It is a tough look because he was like this kind of like next big like tactical type of coach. He did some really good stuff with Bologna, and now it looks even bad because Bologna is ahead of Juventus in Serie A.
And you know what the problem is? It's I'm almost looking at a similar situation to kind of how Chelsea has. They keep bringing in these coaches. When you start having these quick output of coaches, but your performance isn't there, that's bad.
Yeah.
Because then no one wants to touch you. Okay. Sorry. Okay, whatever. He's getting a little old. Maybe his tactics are working out. Pirlo, fresh coach, prolific player. We've seen this song and dance before. But Motta, now you're starting to run out of excuses. Because it is Juventus. It's Juventus. You can't really... You expect... you kind of have a higher standard of them after what they did in the 2010s.
Yeah, I mean... Look, they're the most winningest team in Italian Serie A history. It sounds, and you expect them to, always look. I know they've had some financial problems and issues, and there's the whole like Super League debacle as well. That's kind of like tarnished them. I feel like in more recent history. It sounds like there was some issues with. It seems like he was inflexible, so he was probably being a stubborn coach. But look, he's trying to implement his style of play to these players. It also sounds like he had issues with some of these players as well. So that's always a problem when if you're a new coach and you already kind of lose the locker room. That's like a death sentence.
It's never great.
And it just doesn't. And like you mentioned, it doesn't look good. They had Maurizio Sarri, they had Andrea Pirlo. They brought back Allegri after his first stint, and that kind of righted the ship. Now, don't know. Igor Tudor replaces him, so I feel like this is something to keep an eye on, while they probably see how it goes for the rest of the season.
Let's see what happens in the next couple of years, but we might be seeing some random Americans coming in to purchase Juventus, and then they start buying a bunch of 20-year-olds that have no real-world experience in big leagues on high wages to sell for a bit of a profit. Am I projecting?
You're not projecting because you don't think American capitalism already got into Syria. There's a couple hedge funds in there. Throw another one in there.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But moving on to the bread and butter of this show, we do have to end it off, a few leaks for next season, a few kit leaks.
Little leaks.
Some love from AC Milan, from the recently spoken of Juventus, and from Chelsea. Starting with this AC Milan one, we're looking at our home kit for next year. I mean, off the rip, I like it. I think it's pretty clean. I'm trying to figure out what exactly this design is going on inside the kit, though.
Yeah, not too sure. I can't really... It just says that it features a classic striped design with a subtle embossed devil pattern.
I can't tell terribly well from these leaked images. But I will say this. I mean, going with the classic black and red stripes, it's hard to mess it up. I think I need to see this kind of like pattern going on in person more. But the one thing that really stands out here, the monochromatic badge looks good.
You like the monochromatic badge. I feel like that's going to be the thing that's going to throw some people off, whether you like it or not.
I can see the other way, but I think it plays here. I don't know. I like it.
I don't. It's like, do I love the monochromatic badge on the home kit? Not always my cup of tea. I'm always the very classic guy. Give it that, but I don't hate it. It's not something like where I'm like, this ruins the whole kit. I don't think it ruins the kit all that much, but I don't know how I feel entirely about it. Once we get some more clear photos, I'll probably have a better better opinion about it, or whether or not I like it, truly like it or not. But I'd say this is a wear it out. This is a wear it out for me.
Yeah, I think it's a safe wear it out. Now, speaking of controversial changes, how do you feel about this Juventus kit? Now, this has some like kind of unorthodox stripes. We've seen them kind of fuck around like this before. And then they go with the pink accents on the stripes, the Adidas and the Juventus crest. And I don't think it's doing it for me. I think they need to implement the pink a little better or put it a little bit more, but it almost feels like that those are supposed to be white and then someone misclicked and accidentally added pink.
I don't mind the pink accents. I like the pink Adidas stripes, and I like the I would have just done the pink Adidas stripes. I would have left the actual Adidas logo and the Juventus crest just a plain white. I am not really a big fan of this stripe design. I don't like those two stripes in the middle. I think get rid of one of them or both. But other than that, those are my tweaks I would have made. I don't like also that little like radiant reflective design in that one stripe. It also just kind of kills it. Like,
yeah, I don't know what this kit needs. It almost feels like they had two different ideas for kits and then couldn't decide on one and combined two ideas.
Kind of ruin it, and you ruin the team guys too. The team guys kind of throwback.
You know what's funny? I didn't even like process that this is a team guys. That's the worst part. It didn't even like occur to me. I think decent. I think this is like would fall to decent for me. I don't think it's rubbish. It's definitely not there, but I think it's
I was willing to
range.
put a little bit like rubbish. I'm feeling a little rubbish here.
I don't. I can go either way. It doesn't kill me, but it's not. It's definitely their worst outing. I feel like in a couple years.
Yeah. And then we'll cap it off with some more Chelsea talk. How do you feel about this?
I was a little indifferent at first. It felt strange seeing us with the red, green. I wasn't sure how to feel about it. It reminds me a bit of Gucci. I'm getting a little bit of Gucci vibes from this, which I wasn't sure. And then I learned that this is a kind of a redo of our 1974 kit. And after seeing that, I actually really like this. It's actually like, cause I didn't hate the design. I guess the colors threw me off, but finding out that it's a throwback, I'm kind of into it. I heard some people throw around Christmas kit. Which is fair. I like this though. I think this is, wear it out, wear it out for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine. Like, I like, colors are different. It's not Chelsea. These are like not the Chelsea colors I think of.
Yeah.
I don't mind the design. I also kind of like the little subtle kind of striping that's under the armpit there. That's kind of cool little touch. I feel like it's like a lower decent, like I think I wouldn't, if I was a Chelsea fan, I don't know if I would get it, but it's better than some other away kits you've had.
No, I think it's in the last couple of years. I think it's a pretty solid kit. I think the big problem is with all of Chelsea's kits next season, which from the leaks I've seen, I think they're pretty solid. I like all the kits we're looking to get next season. My big problem is how it's going to look with whatever sponsor we get, because it seems like. I'm going to be honest. The way things have been, I understand like why we need a sponsor and why not having a sponsor is crazy for us, but I've been loving as a fan not having a sponsor. It's sick. Our kits as a whole just look so much better without them. Like the T90 kit we're supposed to get this year, I was like dead set on getting it, but if there's a dog shit sponsor on there, I don't think I am. I think if it's not plain, it kind of ruins it. So we'll see. I think a sponsor could really ruin this kit. But without the sponsor, I think this is a pretty fantastic one.
I keep seeing some Qatar Airways. I actually wouldn't be mad if Qatar Airways not bad sponsorship.
No, I've seen a couple different ones. We'll see what ends up happening. I've seen some companies I've never even heard of. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I kind of wish. I know Juventus does this. I think Roma as well. You have the option to buy without sponsors, and I think every team should implement that. But I think that about does it. I think we've reached the end of the road here. No champs, no prem. We'll be back with more news next week if anything gets shaken up. But
Yeah.
thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Cheers, my friends.
See you guys.